Buenos dias and welcome back to another video, my friends. I hope you're staying healthy and I hope you're staying safe wherever you are in the world. Today on the channel, I want to talk about basic color theory and how you can utilize it to create your own photography style and or utilize it out in the field to create your images and compose your photographs. So just know that basic color theory can be utilized in a variety of different ways and in different professions such as graphic, fashion, floral, or interior design. Bakers even utilize it and think about how they compose their cakes and what colors they're going to use on their different baked goods. And of course, our photography and photographers can utilize basic color theory to be able to compose different images. Let's talk more about it. I myself am on this journey to better understand color and how it relates to my photography and my photography style in terms of color. So allow me to introduce to you the three parts of basic color theory. That is the color wheel, color harmony, and color context. Let's get started by talking about the color wheel. Let's not let it be complex or intimidating, so let's start with the primary colors. In school or in a classical art class, you're going to learn that R, Y, B are the classical primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. Then there are lighting schemes that utilize red, green, blue, or RGB. And then there is the printing world, which uses CMYK. Okay, we're going to stop right there because we're not going to continue to talk about any of those anymore. But we know that the variety of colors come from primary, secondary, and then tertiary colors. And the combination of all these colors start creating this color wheel. Now the color wheel deals with reds, going into oranges, going into yellows, then going into greens, and then blues, and then into the purples and the magentas, and back into the red, and so on and so forth goes the color wheel. We just need to know that these are hues, these are colors. By definition, a hue is just a color. And then we deal with the saturation potentially, which when we think about in photography, we saturate or unsaturate an image based on its color. We just move from that color being really intense, or we take it away and go into gray, or take away its color and essentially make it like a black and white feel. So we unsaturate it. And then there are its tints and shades of that specific color. So if we're talking about red, you might have a deep red all the way to a light, maybe pink based on that red. Again, I am no colorist or color expert, but the idea is to get these things in our mind so we understand the color theory basics. That's the color wheel in, so many words. Let's move on to the second part of the basics of color theory, and that is color harmony. And color harmony is by far, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite section. And in my humble opinion, I believe it gives you your most bang for your buck, especially for us photographers who are trying to create our style with color. I think that color harmony allows you to do just that. And let's get into a little bit more about color harmony to understand that a little bit better. Now, I have downloaded on my phone a free app called Color Wheel. And what Color Wheel allows you to do, and I'll put this up on the screen, and what Color Wheel allows you to do is to kind of power through the idea of what color harmony does. You can work with complementary colors. So on the screen you see essentially teal and orange or blue and orange. That is a very popular scheme, right? Because they complement each other. If I move this, the colors around the wheel, you'll see that red and green, Christmas colors, are super popular. Now if I move over one, you see split complementary. That's allowing you to use two colors with another one across the color wheel. And then if we move on to triad, you kind of see that we could, I believe, go to the, yeah, there you go. That's the RYB, or the red, yellow, and blue, the primary colors that I spoke about before. And then we can go into tetrad, which is essentially kind of a crisscross of colors. They're still complementary, but you're utilizing two different schemes to actually get the color right in your edit. So this is just another example of tetrad where the colors are evenly spaced between each other, and there's two sets of colors that are aligned or complemented with each other. You'll notice as I move the color wheel around, you'll get those different complementary colors across from each other, but again, in two pairs evenly spaced. Where if I go back to the other example of tetrad, these are not evenly spaced, or there's not an even amount of space between them from color to color. So the last color harmony example within this color wheel app is called analogous. And this just simply means that you're going to get or have a set of colors that you're going to work with to try to create a harmonious scene. Again, this can be in your edit, or it can be provided as the subject wearing maybe some of these blues in this case, and the background is green, and then you're going to implement some lighter blues. We could have a different color scheme, such as, let's say this here, some orange, reds, and magentas. So the idea would be that you want to create a scene that has a similar set of colors, or at least colors that are on the same side of the color wheel. The last piece of the puzzle, and probably the most complex, is color context. We're not going to spend a lot of time here. However, this is how colors behave with other colors and shapes. So let's take a look on the screen to explain this a little bit more. We have 4 boxes on the screen, one black, one white, one orange, and one teal. And in the center of each of those boxes is a smaller red square, the same red square throughout. But if you look at all 4 of these, this is where we may have varying or different opinions. And that's what makes color context so complex, is that not only the colors working with other colors is or can be complex, but the shapes that they're put up against also can be complex. So in this instance, I believe, in my opinion, the red stands out a lot more on the black, and the red is a lot more muted on the white. Now that might make sense to a lot of you, but it also may not, and that all depends on how we see color in real life and or in a computer. Computers are sometimes have been known to be colorblind, as well as we can be, as humans, colorblind. That definitely adds a whole nother layer of complexity when different humans are looking at different computers and we think we're looking at the same colors and the same shapes. So colors on colors can add confusion, but colors on shapes can also add confusion. Know that this is a complex part of color theory or basic color theory, but what I would subscribe to you or prescribe to you would be that you focus on either the color wheel and or color harmony. I think there is so much to learn from color theory, especially basic color theory. You don't have to be a profound colorist, but certainly this is the right step or the right way to start learning about color and your images and how to create your own style within the basic color theory. Now let's apply the color theory basics to 2 different scenarios. One, earlier today, I took a snapshot of the scene or the part of the studio that is behind me, and I put this up on the screen now. And what I want you to look at is, and I'll take a look at it with you here, is the color scheme for this, and let's think about what that looks like on the color wheel. I have 2 blocks of color that are blue, and then 2 that are more in the dark reds or oranges. And then I have a brown, which is really made from red, yellow, and green for the most part. So that gives you that kind of brownish, beigeish look. That's mostly the floor. And of course, we've got some lighter hues in the ceiling and in some of the cabinetry that's white. But for the most part, we have what you could consider the teal and orange, which are complementary to each other on the color wheel. So now you can see how you could set up a room or a studio or a photo shoot by taking some practice shots. So I would like to recommend the free Color Hunt app that I utilized to snap off the image behind me, and it provided me with a swatch of the colors that are in the scene. And not only does it do that, it also, before it gives you the swatch and you render, let's say, that image, it provides you the spaces where those colors are. So it provides you with 3 to 5 to 7 circles or areas of where those colors are coming from in your swatch. So it's really cool, and I really do recommend this app. So now let's move on to another scenario, which would be looking at a previous image that I have taken in the past. Staying in the Color Hunt app, I want to utilize this app to analyze one of my previous images. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go over here to Tools and then Extract Palette from Image, select a picture from my album. I'm going to go to Recent and I'm going to select this surfer image. So right away you see that it gives me 5 colors at the bottom as a palette, and then you see where those colors are coming from based on the circles with the little plus signs across the image, which is pretty cool. You can even click the plus more or the more symbol, so it gives you more colors and just puts in a little bit more information into the scene. I like this because I do see some darker parts in the shadows where they're more of the purple hue. And basically this was my edit. It included a lot of the obviously golden tones and the yellows, and then provided I ended up putting a little bit of magenta in my edit, and so it gives you an idea of, from image to image, how you're tending to trend towards a certain color. And so if you do this often, that you can analyze your own images and see where you might be heading, and maybe try to get some type of familiarity with your editing style if you don't have one. I know I'm still working on mine, so this is really cool to see, and it's good to see. Obviously this image is going to look a lot different than a midday image or an image that's in a studio, but you can start to get trends based on all of those types of photography. But I do think this would be really helpful in the beginnings of understanding color theory and understanding the basics thereof, and understanding how to utilize these concepts to continue to evolve in photography and be evaluative about your type of photography and how you're editing and how you want images to turn out in the long run. All right, that's gonna do it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you guys. We will announce the winners of my giveaway. I'm giving away an intervalometer. So if you don't know about this intervalometer giveaway, click on the link down below. It'll take you to the video where all you have to do to enter is comment the words interval timer, and then actually just tell me what kind of camera you have so I can send off the right intervalometer or interval timer for you. So link is down below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'd really appreciate your subscription. You guys mean the world to me. I'm doing this essentially because I love photography, I love video, and I love making videos. So hopefully you are too. You're enjoying the channel, and I appreciate your subscription. Like this video if it provided you any source of entertainment or value. Ring that bell to notify you new videos when they are posted, and comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to chat with you. Until the next one, I love y'all. Peace.